Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning. It's another fun-filled day, and it's kind of like our first day of the week. Yesterday we had a holiday, and today we're back in the saddle again. And interesting, China lowered their interest rate, and now we find out why. Didn't wasn't really thinking about it too hard yesterday or the day before when I saw it over the weekend. But China's property sector is crashing again. And so the country's biggest developer, I thought Grande was, or Grande, or however they express it word-wise, was the issue. Now I see it's they have a bigger property one than that. I'm a little confused because everybody was claiming that the other one, Evergrande was the largest, but it's not. Ever since 2017, something called Country Garden is the largest, employing over 200,000 people. And let's see, liquidity, even as press such as Shimo Group Holding, a recently investment grade developer whose collapse in December was viewed as more devastating debt crisis as more devastating than the debt crisis at Evergrande and Kisa, dramatic reversals in their credit ratings. So now there's another one that's falling apart. Again, I think they need to take. I know this is a little drift off, but I would really like to see China move towards the Turkish strategy. Let their currency float, and then give free puts out to anybody who's long it or short it, and let them. Or I guess it's long it, and this way they have the free puts, and we would see what the real value of China is. Is it really as financially strong as everybody says it is? I don't see it myself, but and then there's the other thing too. What's it say here? China's biggest property firm, excluding defaulters, with some 11, almost 12 billion, it's 11.7 billion outstanding in Bloomberg compiled the data. How can that 11.7 billion? That's not a lot. I mean, Trump himself personally has something like 37 billion in real estate, 37 billion in assets of real estate. So how can something that's only 11.7 billion put so much pressure on a country? That's why I'm always doubting this whole thing. It's very confusing, but it's always why I doubt China is really as strong as they say it is for that specific reason. They always seem to fall apart for some of the smallest amounts of dollars. Remember, it's very hard to see China and see what they're doing. It's hidden very well. And so you don't really get a chance to see real numbers, and you don't really get a chance to see, uh, a lot of the accounting firms, say you can't tell exactly what asset is which there, the whole bit, and so um, the only way we can really view China is through things like this, not bad things or good things, just things like this, in other words, Grande, Evergrande couldn't cover like $11 million in bonds, not 11 billion, 11 million in bonds. I mean, how does a country allow that to happen if they're the second most powerful nation in the world? We throw $11 million away on Kleenex in our government. Just $11 million is nothing. It's not even a rounding number. So how can they not prop something up for 11 million or 12 million or 22 million? We're not talking 22 billion or 22 trillion. We're talking about 22 million with an M. So it really confuses me all the time when someone says, "Oh my God, you got to worry about China. China's going to take over the world financially." It's like I don't see that. I'm confused. What gives you that feeling? Oh, well, just listen to the news. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but what about the numbers? What numbers are showing that? Well, I don't know. The news says it is. So as far as I can tell, China is not really that powerful. It's like I call it now. It's like a colony of the United States. It's an independent colony, does what it wants when it wants, and has great financial access to the American system. That's all. So anyway, that's my question mark of the day. Again, why I love doing the webinar. I'm able to ask a question that has some relevancy to our reality, and I try to understand what it's about. I'm hoping, traders jump in and go, "Oh, Doc, you're wrong. This is why they're successful and they're going to be a powerful nation." I go, "Oh, okay, sure. I'm willing to listen." I'm hoping somebody can explain it to me because I don't see it. I'm totally confused all the time. And that's not my speed. Normally I can see everything that's going on to a great extent or a partial extent. Like this morning, Goldman Sachs released their numbers right before we started the webinar. And the stock was down about $10, I guess down 2% or something like that. And it seems like that's the rhythm we're seeing now. All the banks seem to be coming out with some really great numbers. And then what happens as soon as that number comes out, they seem to sell the bank stocks right down. So it's a warning. That's a warning right there alone. Like, be careful. This is this is the money is there. The money has been made already. Now we're worried about it going back down again. So that is the ticket there. All right, let's check out what we got going on this morning. You can see how the dollar is acting. There's the Swiss. You can see the Swiss is dancing its way down. Where's that mouse up? There it is right there. So you can see that right there. And you can see it's showing a green right here. And we are a couple greens on ours too. It's trying to lift up. We're through the buy. You see here it's trying to go through the buy, just same way. Pressure's there. I'm still trying to figure out how they can tighten the world, with this inflation situation. And so I'm still convinced that until I see other signs, that more than likely they will, the way they'll do it in the end is they will keep the dollar steady and low compared to the way it has been. And this will give strength to the other pairs trades. And then they can raise rates a little bit at the same time, which is justifying the raise of value of the other pairs trades, and it won't really slow down too much of the economy since most of the other countries are just a socialist country to begin with. And so, when you look at Europe, raising rates is not going to really have much of an effect, especially when it's in the minus now. So there's not exactly any real fear there. The fact that it has a return is really the positive thing out of it all. That is exactly what we're looking at. We're going, wow, how about that? They'll pay some interest on money borrowed, which is really cool, because that's the really freaky part right now is European countries in general don't pay interest on money borrowed. You pay them interest. So they borrow money from you, right? So they borrow money from you and you pay them interest, right? Used to be the old way around. Here in the States, someone borrows money from you, they give you interest. But not in Europe. That seems to be the opposite side of the coin there. So that is what we're seeing here. And that's why we're thinking, we'll see this just kind of go sideways. We'll see the Swiss, probably go find the bottom end of the channel, maybe not the top end of the channel again. And we'll expect to see that with a lot of the pairs trades where they are already at the top end of their range. Well, let's jump over to the euro and see how that looks. And there is the euro this morning. And you see it's feeling a little pressure there. Let's see how it looks on the Chicago. Same situation. Let's widen that out. There. See that same thing going on right there. The pressure is down. We have a couple days of red dots, just like we have a couple days of red hankies. And you can see the weekly is very firm, so there's no real scare there at the moment. This is just, as I like to say, the dead cat bounce. It's pretty much what it all comes down to. And what else can we say about that? I guess the good thing is, as I just mentioned, it would be nice to see them paying interest to borrowers again. That would be really good. So you borrow money from somebody, and you give them interest. What a unique concept, huh? All right. And let's go. Oh, you know what I want to do? I want to fix that out on the fact check spreadsheet. I haven't merged them together still. I'm looking at it on the other machine that I got fixed. Let's see, where's that at? So now, let's see, so the Swiss was, let's see, where's the Swiss? Let me just double check the Swiss real quick again. We'll fix that fact check spreadsheet. Okay, so the Swiss went into a daily buy yesterday, okay. And let's go to that, Swiss, 21, right? Yep, right there. So that's in a 1, so I'll put that in there. Nope, wrong one. Uh-oh, I think we just blew something up. Yeah, we blew it up. We'll have to reload that. Let's see, where's it at? 1, we'll go right there. Get rid of that. There we go. Where's that mouse? All right, I think that's all right. Yeah, there we go. And so there is the, let's go back to the euro. And the euro is doing the same thing. Let's put a line in there for it, like that. And there's the sell from yesterday. We're letting that ride. You know, we're going to let the Mondays on the currency pairs stay. I've noticed recently over the last, I don't know, maybe 6 to 8 months, it seems to me that the holidays here don't seem to have much of an effect on currencies, mainly because I think the central banks are keeping them in line. So if there's any buying and selling, it's usually with the liquidity of that. So now, oh, let's check our voice too. Oh yeah, there we go. Voices sounds good. So, let's see. So there's the euro. And what else can we spot here? Oh, let's lower that volume too. Yeah, so I got the euro. What do I have it at? So euro is fallen into a sell. So it's 1 day in a sell going on 2. So let's fix that at the same time. We'll find a way to get the fact check spreadsheet back up on this new computer I'm using. All I have to do is download the Microsoft to it, or the what do they call it, the free spreadsheet reader type of thing, because that's all we really need to do is just read it. Yeah. All right, from there we'll jump over to the cable, see what the cable's up to this morning. It seems like it's doing the same thing as everything else. You can see a little pressure there, going on a second day now. Put it up on J4X, right there. See that pressure there, and you can see the pressure there. I guess we can move that over a little bit more, right? So you can see the numbers. Where's that? Like that. And then let's move this over like so. See how that looks. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? So you can see the numbers too at the same time. So we can move them over just a little bit more. You see if it keeps it there like that, or I have to move it back over to where I just had it. Looks all right. All right, so you can see here, this is also having its pressure just like it's having its pressure here. And let's fix that. Let's see, where's the spreadsheet there? It was 9 days in a buy it, so it's come out of that. That's kind of interesting. Let's see, what else can I save? Oh, I know it. I need to put a red line in there. No, that's not the spot I want to put. Yeah, I guess it is. Oh, I know it is. It's up on the top. Oh, I see what I'm doing on this one. It's up on the top screen. Okay. We'll remove that, like so. Yeah, I've been putting it up on the top screen there. Interesting. So we hit the middle end of the range that we were expecting right there. Now it's digesting. It'll probably bounce around in here a little bit, and then I would think they'll find another way to lift it up higher. All right, from there, we'll drift over to the Turkish Lira. Start off with the dollar Turkish Lira, which is the weaker of the pairs trades as far as I'm concerned. Right there. You can see they jumped into a buy there yesterday. It's showing a volatility signal today. We've got a red and a green. It's just hanging. Was it at minus? See right there, plot one is minus 0.01, so it's really tight there. You see the weekly is flirting with its weekly sell, so we can put that in there like so. There we are. And then let's save this too. Save. See if they try to bounce this back up again. And over on the Turkish Lira side, you can see they're trying to. You see that strength on the J4X. You can see Turkish Lira right there, trying to bounce up like it's doing here. And then let's jump over to the Euro Turkish Lira, which I think is the much more accurate pairs trade, kind of leading the marketplace. You see the pressure's been on it for the last couple of days right there. And let's see, where is it at? Let's put it up over here. We need to tighten up the J4X here a little bit. I've been looking at the J4X on the other machine, and it's got a little bit tighter characteristics to it. We'll figure that out. I know I played with a lot of the internals, so I need to get that to Janos to give him all the internals that we follow now with the J4X. I'll find it. I couldn't find it yesterday. I was searching for like a half hour for it. I couldn't figure out where I had both of them running, and I was like looking at it and going, why can't I see that? Let's see, where is that? That is right there. You can see this weekly's doing the same thing too. Where the Euro Turkish Lira is breaking down. There you go. Take that and move it down. You see the daily, which it went into a daily buy yesterday, and it's right on the edge of falling out of it too. Let's fix that right there. This is why normally I don't follow a lot of these products on a holiday, because you can see things like that. If they all fall back into sells after yesterday's buy, it's just a good example of why I try not to utilize any of the stats on a holiday with the United States closed. When you're losing 60 to 65% of the traders, it's not really worth paying attention to. But I'll do it with the currencies only. Let's see, right there. So that's the action we're seeing. It seems like it's locked in this little range here. Let's see if they can hold it for a couple more days and stay like that, or just hesitating down it is really positive. Can you imagine if they go out and challenge these lows here? That would be really something. It could be in many ways a new way of propping up currencies. Next time one of these South American countries have to declare bankruptcy, maybe they'll go and just give out free puts instead. And then they could tax the population and straighten that out. Because I'm sure every time they declare bankruptcies, it really hurts the country more and more and more. Because it's definitely not a good thing that, as a country, to have to declare bankruptcy. All right. From there, we zip over to the Canadian. Right there. And again, you see that also went into the buy there yesterday, and here we are going down again. I think I'll wait till tomorrow to fix some of these things. I might just let them glide. Let's put the Canadian up on J4X. Let them glide around a little bit more for another day. Here's a perfect example of what I've been saying is don't pay attention to yesterday's trading. And you can see there on J4X, lots of red, lots of pressure. I mean, look at that, it's trying to turn up, just like our work here has done. See that right there, turning up. And we've had a couple days of green, and now we're flirting with a red again. You can see the curve, it's already started on our work. And J4X will join in a couple hours. Hey, Jordan. Currently looking at euro against the dollar, looking for a buy entry into the 2-hour chart. Shall we take a look and see what 2-hour chart looks like with our work? We can do that. Let's see. You know I don't like hourly charts, but it is what it is. There we go. If that's what you're watching, that's what we'll look at. All right, and there is the GBP. Let's put the euro in there. And then let's put, that's a minute chart up there. Let's put a 2-hour chart up there. There we are. Let's see how it fills in. How many days back is it going? I was only going back 2 days. Let's go back like 8 days. There we are. It's loading. There we go. And you see it's been in our work. It's been in the sell since last night, I guess it is. Was it at midnight U.S. time, Eastern Standard? Let's see. What did you say? You said looking at euro, looking for a buy entry on 2-hour. Okay. So we need this to start turning up. You can see here the Manhattan strategy that we use here. You can see right there, it's trying to turn. You know, we're starting to see a turn. Let's see what it looks like on J4X. There's 1 hour. There's lots of pressure there on the 1 hour. It doesn't have a 2-hour. I guess I could write in a 2-hour. I guess you have to fill those in, change it. But there's a 1 hour. And what else can we say about that? Last time it turned up right there, last night, you can see it lasted not long. Made another high, but not much, and made another high there, but not much. Let's see, there's one. It turned up on, what was that, Sunday night. And, you know, it climbed for a couple hours. Like, was that 2, 1, let's see, where's it? Go back to it right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, let me try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and rolled over with a harsh move down. How about that? See, that's why I don't pay attention to those 2-hour charts. Now let's look at it through a Tesla. So we'll go with 396. And we'll go with just 3 days. See what happens there. We'll see how that calculation comes back, and I'm sure it's going to look a lot smoother than an hourly chart. Maybe we should do 1 day, and then we'll go to 2 day, and so forth and so on. So there is 1 day, and it jumped up on this one. It's still there. It's still there. So maybe it's, you know, it shows that strength you're looking for. Oh yeah, there you go. What's that? That's the minus, right? So it went into the buy here. So that was the first one. And that was, yeah, that's, you know, to match up to your 2 hour, we probably have to do something like 12 or something like that. Or let's see if we can change the time, the Tesla. We'll make it like a 6 Tesla. So what would that be? 6 times 3 is 18. 18. So let's make it 2, 3, 6, 9. Let's see if that matches up to a 2 hour Tesla. Let's give it a second day. There we are. You can see there at, what was that? And it's still, like between the bars, and it's still only like about 30 minutes. It would take a lot. Let's see. What would it do? How much does it take to get something like a 2 hour? Like I'm looking for 145 to 155 minutes, maybe two hours and 10 minutes, that type of thing. You know, but it do it in a Tesla. So in other words, there's two. That's at 6. What's that? 6:13. That's like 30 minutes. So we need to do it 4 more times to that. So let's look at a 9,600. So let's do it like this: 9,369. Let's go back 3 days. It's back filling now. Let's do the 2 hour chart again. Get it to fill in. Okay, so that's the 2 hour. Now let's go find the 3 hour. Not the 3 hour. Oh, let's see what the bars look like too between, before we go back further. So that bar is at 7:27. That bar is at 5:30. Yeah, see, that's what it comes down to. This one is at, so from 4:12 to 5:30. That's an hour and 20 minutes. This one is from 3:01 to 4:12. That's like an hour and 10 minutes. How about this one to here? That's 2:57 to, so it's 20:57. So that's like an hour and 45 minutes. I think that's where you need to land if you're going to try to do some type of couple hour trend type of thing. You want to go with a Tesla up in the thousands, you know? Could be even 12,000. That might be even better. So it could be like 12,369. Let's see how this plays out. But again, we're not fans of the hourly because it just doesn't show the accuracy. Still waiting for it to fill in. Let's see what contracts does. Yes, the contracts are slow. So we put ticks in there. So it's a choice between ticks and contracts for it to make it spatial. Ranko's not that bad either. I think Ranko does define something though, right? So I mean, we looked at the Ranko. Weren't you using Ranko for a little while? Or you're using Ranko? Well, it will let it calculate. And when we get back, we'll double check it every so often to see how it's doing. What do we have it set on? 3 days now? Yeah, we have it set on 3 days. In fact, why don't we put 4 in there? And then we'll come back to it maybe towards the end of the webinar. Or who knows, I'll just keep on double checking it every so often. All right, from there, where did we leave off? We were Canadian, right? So, and you can see what the euro is doing there with that pressure on a day-to-day basis. That was an hourly. Let's go back to the daily there. You can see that pressure that's on it. And you're looking to buy the bounce. All right. And you can see there in our work, same thing as pressure is on. It's at its lows of the day right there. But what's, you know, it's in a weekly buy, so that's not that bad. But you need this to turn back up. We need a curve here. That's what we need on a daily. Yeah, I don't like anything that's fixed. It can't be finite. It has to be infinite. And that's why I follow the spatial. Because time seems to function infinite, not finite. And so that kind of stops from actual proof to work. At least that's how I figure it. Let's go check it again and see if it's filled in at all. Still having its issues there. It's backfilling. All right, from there we jump over to looking at Canadian. Let's just look at Canadian again real quick, unless you want to see something besides that. But let's look at the Canadian. So the Canadian is, what's it doing? Is it going down or going up? It's trying to lift up a little bit, but it's still in the downwardly projection. So I would assume that what we're going to see here is when we go over to the oil sector and gold, we'll see some type of strength in the oil and possibly some strength in the gold. And I already noted last time I saw gold, it was going down. Let's just put that up there like that. There's oil. Oil is lifting, but we're not seeing it when it comes to the gold. And let's put it over here. We're going to leave this up just to emphasize that. And then let's go over to gold. You're going to see gold heading down. There's pressure. Okay, so now, this morning at one point, that was the line was in there. Now it's gone again because it was pressing down much harder. So we'll see how that plays itself out. But I think that that's where we are. Now the Canadian, as you can see right here on J4X, the pressure is down, which means that there should be some strength in those things. Let's see if we can see a back and fill into the Rankos. Not the Rankos, the Tesla. No, nothing yet. We can do a refresh, reload. There's a reload. Is there a reload here? There it is. That's resetting scales. So it's backfilling still. So nothing filled in yet. And you can see the, I wonder what silver is doing. Let's just take a quick look at silver. Silver is still minus. But it looks like it's flattened itself out. You know, it's almost unchanged now. Matter of fact, it's actually plus compared to, remember that's yesterday, no, okay, that's the 14th, so that's fine. So it's pretty much a little above yesterday, Friday's close. All right. From there, we'll jump over to South African Rand, assuming that it probably is sideways. Oh, there we go. Look at that. It's filling in now. Look at that. There you go. It's still burying itself. Oh, you can't see that. Here, check this out. There we are. We'll push it back another day. But you're right, it's at the low end. It's at the low end of the range, that's for sure. Now you just need a good signal to tell you to try to get long. You're trading gold short right now? It was lower this morning, wasn't it? Because I remember, when we sent the charts out this morning with Robin, that they were pressing down more than they are now, and silver was much more minus than it is now. So it seems like they're trying to turn back up. So take your profits. Try to take profits as much as you can. Let's put. Let's go to a 5th day on this. See how that looks. While we're waiting for that, we'll go over to the South African Rand. Oh, look at that. It's filling in quick. Let's hold up for a second. I think I'll have a sip of my tea as we talk about this. Indeed. Let's give it a stir. We put cinnamon and honey in there. Cinnamon and honey. That's close to getting filled in. Let's see how it looks. I think we'll take a look at the South African Rand real quick, and then we'll come back to it. There it is right there. And it's kind of bouncing up for the last couple of days, but nothing major. And let's see how it looks on J4X. Right there. Yeah, trying to get a little green. You got the hinky going. You can see this curving going on, just like our work, the curving heading up. In this case, ours actually went up and now is going down, but it's still in the sell from here. Are you using it with the 2-hour on gold? Goldman Sachs is down $15 now. It was a miss. Their earnings per share, they were expecting 1081. Oh no, they were expecting 1176, and it came out to be 1081. So it was a miss. Hey John, how you doing? What are your thoughts on stock indexes today? Well, there's pressure on them, that's for sure. I keep on waiting for them to make new lows. Let's take a look at them. Okay, so we left off at South African Rand, so we'll leave that up on the J4X. Let's go over to, there's the Tech 100, which is on Dukascopy. You can see it's been in a weekly sell from here this week, right in here. Kind of went down, bounced up. Now we're trying to go after some type of lows. We're looking for a challenge to this low here, that 152 of about a week and a half ago. You can see the weekly is trying to turn up. And let's see what else we can say. It's in a daily sell from here. So the pressure's there. That's interesting. Now over here on the Dow Jones Industrial Average right there, it closed in a weekly sell last week. It's been in a daily sell since Friday. And so the pressure is on here. You can see the Dow Jones Industrial 30 is moving down. Let's see, what else is there? Let's look at the S&P 500. But all our math seems to be pointing in one direction. The S&P's been in a sell since Thursday of last week. But the weekly is still, as you can see right there, holding on. So they're not so fast to take out lows. And this low did not take out this low or this low when it comes to the S&P 500. Whereas in the NASDAQ 100, the Tech 100 on Dukascopy, this low got taken out by that low, and this low got taken out by that low right there. And it looks like they're trying to go after that, as I was saying, waiting for it to do it again. And when it comes to the Dow was doing the same exact thing as the S&P 500. And you can see we're starting to show some weakness. We took out this low. That's the low. That's the day we're looking for the low to be taken out on the NASDAQ, but it hasn't done that yet. So to me, I think they're going to be sideways, the down, pretty much for the next quarter. I don't know if they're going to try to bottom fish at times. We just follow our math in the end result, and right now the pressure is definitely on. And then when we go and look at the, what is it, the Russell 2000 right here. Is that the Russell? Oh, there it is. There's the Russell 2000. You know, it has held up pretty well. It had this reverse head and shoulders. We were wondering if it was going to take off in this on this move right here, and it seems to have rolled over. We've been in a weekly sell on this since late November, and it tried to get back up to it and failed. So this is the most speculative stocks in the U.S. market right here. So if they're not lifting, then I have my doubts that there's going to be a lot of bottom fishing, and we would think, you know, I would have thought, and I think I mentioned it last week, I would have thought that with the Fed Reserve raising rates, that we would see upwardly pressure on the stocks, but the bank stocks, not the overall stocks, but the bank stocks. I would think that would be because what will happen is they'll be able to make more money. And so normally they do that. What happens, it's a very simplistic concept that always happens to work. And that is that interest rates go up and banks move them up instantly. And then when interest rates start to drop, they hold them up for a quarter, you know, just to confirm. So they usually get a pretty good earnings out of a higher number. They don't come down. And you've heard people complain over the years that, you know, when interest rates are rising, banks raise their rates overnight. But when they're dropping, they don't lower their rates overnight. So that's, John, is pretty much my attitude about it all. We watch our math and we look at some of the old fundamentals that usually are still functional on some level. And I would imagine we'll see more pressure on them. And as you can see through the four stock indices we just showed you, our math is, except for the S&P 500, they're all pressuring themselves right now on the downside. I hope that answered your question. Now let's go check what Jordan was looking at. And let's see how the Euro Tesla thing's going. No, not yet. Hasn't filled in. But it was heading south last we looked. But it still hasn't filled in yet. All right, from there, what do we look at here? Let's go to the ruble. Let's see how the ruble's doing. Right there, you can see the ruble is pressuring itself. And let's check it out on J4X. Right there. And ruble's trying to roll over a little bit there. You can see that at the moment. The weekly held up. You know, we've been in that weekly buy in it since the kind of the early part of November. We've been in that weekly buy. And the trend has stayed pretty consistent. You know, it goes up and down, but it keeps on going, making higher highs and higher lows. So that's the nice part about our math, is it has that high level of accuracy. You can see here, that's it right there, the whole weekly gig. And you can see here we went into a sell. Now we went into that buy off of that big spike, and that was what, Thursday of last week, or was it Friday? Thursday of last week. Really hasn't gone anywhere since. Now we're getting our math trying to roll over. You can see J4X doing the same thing. It's trying to do the rollover right here. From there, we'll go to the yen. We think the yen has a story. We're not sure exactly what it is yet, but we think there's a story there. Let's see, what's that? That's a plus. So it went into the buy there yesterday. Let's see what it does. And you see we're in that weekly buy from down in here. And so it's taken it up there, sold down to it, and now it's trying to climb back up again. Then we drift over to the Mexican peso. The Mexican peso, where are you? Right there. And that's been a real slow, steady grind down. We went into the weekly sell here. It took a while for it to, we went into a sell there on a daily, did a 2-day pop, and then went back into the sell again. So it's been pretty much in a sell all these days minus these 3 days right here. Keeps on falling back into a sell. And you can see the weekly took a while for it to join in. Let's look at it on the J4X. Right there. And let's check Jordan's thing out too. You can see there that we've done that with the Mexican peso now. Let's take a quick look there. There we go. So it's still filled in. This is for another day. You can see the pressure on it. Went into the buy here. So that was when? The 17th, that was yesterday. Went into the buy there, and it went up a little bit. It was okay. But it went into the sell there and has stayed in the sell since. And we are going down to some of these lows here. We've made new lows physically on the price itself. So that's the action we're seeing. Let's put a 7th day in there. See if we can get a little bit more history out of this. Or 6th day. Let's go 6. 6. There we are. We'll do them 1 day at a time. All right. From there, we drift over to the metals complex, and we'll take a look at the metals and see what they're doing. We just took a look at it, and we'll just check out copper and so forth. So you can see here gold, well, there's silver. Silver now is minus. It was plus a little while ago. It is flirting with a sell. You see it's in a weekly buy. Let's put it up over here on J4X. Right there. See the pressure going on that too at the same time, just like here. And then let's go back to the gold. Gold is now down at the bottoms again, and it's trying to get into that minus there. Holding over the weekly. It did go into a weekly buy last week, so this is all, could be just noise, up and down, and going nowhere in the end. Stock market I see is pushing even lower now, making new lows today. And let's show you that on J4X, like so, right there. Look at that, pounding down. And let's check out the copper, right there. Copper's feeling its pressure. Let's see what it looks like there. Right there. There we go. So it's still holding up in that weekly though. I don't think the metals have a real clear direction whatsoever. I really don't. I don't see any real clean direction whatsoever. Then, let's see. Let's see. We could take a look at platinum just to get a flavor if there's something going on. It did leap up before the last big move on the metals market. And it's still in a weekly buy now for what, 4 weeks here. You can see that. Almost 5. And you can see the daily buy went on and on and on and on until just yesterday, really. Friday. Went into a sell on Friday. And so there's some pressure on it. So we were in a daily buy throughout that whole move like that. All right, from there, let's go over to the energy complex. There is the front month crude oil. You can see it's trading in the 85s. We've also in a weekly buy since back in here in the late December. You can see that. That week it went into the buys in the mid-70s. I guess the high 70s there. And you can see went into a daily buy right there. So first daily buy in it was tough. I mean, it had a nice win out of it. Went into the daily buy at 77.85 and ran up to 80.17. So that wasn't too bad. It was a couple dollars. And now it's doing the same gig again. Only this time it's got some continuity to it. So it's had 2 winners and no losers since it went into the buy. Let's see. Let's check out the, as I like to say, the new crop. It's the June crude oil right there, and that's been in a weekly buy a week longer. So it's 4 weeks going on 5, where the front month is 4 weeks is on. Let's see, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks going on 5, and the front month is 3 going on 4. So the new crop oil is the June crop oil is looking better. Let's go back to that right there. And the daily's been steaming ahead. Went into the buy here, was in a buy there. You see that. The back months are always interesting like that, Matter of fact, that cell doesn't even fit, does it? Remove that. Remove that. And it went into it went into a buy here. We went a week later, we went into a weekly buy. Rode for a while, had a little sell there for a couple days. Went back into a buy again. So it's been basically in a buy since December 15th. It's only been in a sell for 2 days. Is it right? 1 day, 2 days. Yeah. So since the 15th, it went into a buy, and that the following week it closed in a weekly buy. So even there, it's been in a really strong buy the back month. They are not really paying attention to the front month wiggles and squiggles. The supplies and the demands are reaching for the back month. Now it's discounted too at the same time. So you're looking at 82.07 in June oil, whereas front month oil is trading at 85.31. So that's a nice little change there of $3. There's a gap there. Was that 82.02 versus? Let's go put it up on the J4X here. 82.02 versus 85.28. You're looking over $3. Oh, it filled in. Check this out. Here you go, Jordan. So in this case here, what was that? That was Sunday night. That was Friday, right there. And Sunday night it tried to jump in. It was no buy there. So the first buy was here. So it went into the sell. It wasn't a sell in here somewhere. Let's go back one more day. I'm just making my case for spatial, how more accurate it is, that's all. We can put a 2-hour up against it so you can see the difference. All right, let's go back to, oh, it's filling in. Cool. Let's go back to there. And let's take a look at natural gas. Oh, it filled in. Let's go back to it. There we are. So you can see there wasn't a buy for this move right here. Right there, it was in the buy. And it went into the sell right there. Now let's do this. We make a copy of this, copy window, file, paste window, and then what we're going to do is put a 2-hour in there. There we go. So you can see here it goes into a cell. When is that? That is 1:14 at 4 in the morning. 1:14 at 4 in the morning. And there's a spatial. And it goes into a cell at, let's see, 3:11. So are we saying that the hourly is better on it? It does look like it, doesn't it? There's the spatial, goes into the buy at 20:39 on the 13th. And it looks like you're winning there, Jordan. Let's go back to that other one again. Let's double check. And there's the 2-hour. We gotta go one more day back for you. Let's go 8 days back for the hourly. Okay, so it goes into the buy at 4 on the 13th. Let's see what the other one is. And that is, where's the 4 on the 13th? Oh, I see what the difference is. Okay, so where's the 4 at? There's the 4. It's not filled in. I don't know what that does there. We have to, I want to keep on going with this for you to see if you're better off this way. And there, normally I never see an hourly work well. So this is impressive. Let's see, so 3:11, it goes into a cell there. This is the, so I think you're winning on that one. And it stays in the cell all the way down to, where is it? Down to the 20, almost at the end of the day, right? That's Friday, and that's Sunday night. It goes into a buy right there. So now let's see what the hourly does. Does it cut out the whipsaws? Is that what it does? So there's 4 in the morning. It goes into the cell there. And it stays in the cell until 22. No. 23:59. Midnight. Goes into a buy at midnight. And then goes back into the cell right there at 8 in the morning. Let's see what this one looks like. We're going to have to save these for tomorrow. We're going to have to go through this again. So there is, it's in the buy there before midnight. And then when does it go into a cell? It goes into the cell at 6:48. Okay, so that beats it that way. But this is curious right here. And that is at 3:11. Is that 3:11? Yeah, 3:11 on, and this is the spatial 3:11. And was it do it at 4 o'clock or at 3 o'clock? So it beats it by 11 minutes? Let's see. No, it can't be. It's got to be 4 o'clock, right? Oh, okay, good. That makes more sense. All right, so the spatial beat it there. All right, so it is beating it there. I had it reversed. So the spatial, just because of the way it acts. Now here you can see we are still heading south. You're looking for that bounce. You're getting a little bounce there. Let's see how the hourly looks on that bounce. Oh, that is the hourly. That is the hourly. Okay. So that's doing that. Now let's see what the spatial looks like. There's the spatial. It's still being buried. And it's been in the cell since here at 22:39. 22:39. There's 22, which was still in a buy. So in here, 39 minutes later, it went into a sell, but you had to wait till midnight. So an hour and 21 minutes? You had to wait an hour and 21 minutes before you could get short. Not bad. Yeah, well, this one, what is this? It's bouncing around. I try to match it up. I think 12,000 might work even better. And this is, what is that? That is, like, there's 20, right? And then, oh, okay, that's the hourly. Let's go back to the spatial. Right there. I think 12,000 would do it more because you can see the difference. There's 1903, and then there's 2057. So that's an hour and 54 minutes. See, that's the whole idea. It shouldn't be trapped by a 2-hour increment. So there's 2057, and that's 2057, and then there is an hour and 43 minutes. And then I think if we push up a little bit more, I think it would match up a little bit more. But I wouldn't be afraid of 9,000. I'd trade off of the 9,369 to match up to the hourly. See, like right there, there is, what's that? 734, and the next one is at 9:06. So that's an hour and 42 minutes. So it's just a little bit under 2 hours. Yeah. So I guess we could try to do, say, something like a 9, was it 9,693, maybe something like that. We could try to do that, but I would go with that more stretched out, just a little bit more. We can play with that. Let's see. We will do that tomorrow. We're already past our time limit here. But that's the way the game goes. I think it's well worth looking at still. I think you should try to work on your machine and do some spatial. Be it ticker contract, try 9,369, and then you could, somewhere deep down inside, I keep on hearing 12,000. Why don't you try a 12,369? Try that too. So try a 9,369 and try a 12,369 and see which one works better. We'll look at it tomorrow, same way. All right, traders, we're out of here. It's been an hour and 4 minutes on the webinar, so we got to get going. This is Doc from North America, doing research, talking ideas, trying to learn, willing to show you if I'm wrong, willing to show you if I'm right. So, happy trails to you until we meet up here again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders.